What's up, guys? Alright, so in this video, we're going to be doing yet another text breakdown. I'm not going to waffle on, we're going to get straight into it, but before we do, I just want to do a cheeky little plug and say, if you've been watching my content, and if you found it useful, you've gotten a lot of value from it, hit subscribe, hit like, all that type of thing. And if you yourself are interested in joining our program and learning how to text on these apps or doing a photo shoot, improving the amount of matches you have and the quality of matches you do have, then hit me up. Email is in the description, just send it through there. But let's get straight into it. All right, so with this text conversation, she had a photo which was her like squatting in front of this like Greek statue that had like a tiny dick, right? So that was what I saw. Often this is what I do, right? I actually look at their profile and I try to come up with something observational. These are the best openers. Instead of like just something canned, it's like you just look, and something often comes to you, when you're present, when you're just sort of keeping an open mind. You're like, okay, what pops out? And so that popped out to me. So I open with squatting in public, posing with statues with micro penises, you wild girl. So this is just like a statement, and you can copy this type of format with practically anything. You can say red hair, heart-shaped sunglasses, blah, blah, blah. Like just a couple of statements about her, and you just use that as an opener. But the statements you do have, they have to be like somewhat polarizing. This one worked because obviously like stating that she's posing with statues with micro penises, like that's a little out of the ordinary. So it works really well. And then she's like, ha ha ha, you don't miss a thing. And then I'm like, I'm observant. I just came back from Vegas, actually. I travel a lot with my business. So I could see in her profile that she looked like she was from Vegas. So that's what led me to bringing that up. Even though she was in New York, right? I just wanted to bring that up because that would allow me to talk about the fact that I'm traveling, which would be good because that paints a picture of like, oh, you got a valuable life, So that's good to talk about travels and stuff like that. And then obviously I'm baiting her with, I travel a lot with my business. When I say bait, I mean, she's going to ask like, okay, what type of business do you run? That type of thing. Which she does. She's like, that's nice. What do you do? And then she's like, I was in Vegas recently. I went there in January. No shit, right? I saw it. And then I'm like, I'm a business coach. I teach people how to start and grow their own businesses. What about you? At the time, I was actually doing that. And then she's like, nice. Yes, you must travel a lot. I'm a third-year architecture student. I also work as a server in a restaurant. So this next one is just kind of like me drawing an association, right? It's like she's an architecture student. When a girl says she's an architecture student or she's like into design or interior design or something like that, I'm pretty much always like make this fucking joke about Sims. I have a whole backlog in my mind of like shit a girl will say and then like an association I draw and like some kind of fucking thing that I talk about. Because I've done this so much, right? So I'm just like loved that. I played Sims for a few years. So some may say, what do I actually say after that? Oh, now we got it. So love that. I played Sims for a few years growing up. Some may say I'm quite the architect myself. So, just a fucking joke. And then she's like, sometimes it is really like playing Sims. Haha. I love it. It's hard, but once the design is done, it's like a game, walking through the building and stuff on the software. And then I'm just like, minus the burning houses down and having to manage people's entire lives. Haha. At least you're doing what you love. My dad's an architect, actually. So again, just sort of like building on this, joking about it. It's nothing crazy. It's just like some normal fucking conversation. Then I'm building some commonality around the fact that that's what my dad did, which makes her feel like more, like we're two people who understand each other, versus as two people in different kind of worlds. It shows that I'm part of her, like I understand what she's about and shit. So, really? So you really know how it is? Ha ha ha. Yes, I can totally say that I'm doing what I love. Otherwise, the stress and the sleepless nights are just not worth it. You have to like it. And then I'm just like, yeah, I'm pretty creative too. So I know what it's like to lose your mind over a project you love. I'd like to hear more about your passion on our romantic date. So again, building more commonality, just showing her that I'm creative as well, which she's also going to see that as like a valuable thing about me. It's like, oh, he's saying that he's creative. It could also leave her to being like, oh, what type of like creativity? Like, do you do art? Do you do music? So it's a little bit baity as well. But then she's like, oh my God, yes. Been there so many times. I'd love to hear more about you too. Oh yeah, I do the little soft close at the end, like the romantic date shit. Then she's like, so when is this going to be? And then I'm like, well, I'm leaving for Colombia on Saturday, free tomorrow night. So building a little bit of scarcity, right? Letting her know that, that I'm going to be leaving soon. So that works really well. And then she gives the number, and then we go over to that. So it's like, hey, it's Hudson from the thing, typical shit. I think you're the first Hudson I've met. And I'm like, I feel so special. What trouble you causing? Same sort of shit. And she's like, you have no idea. Just working on some stair designs, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm just like, late night uni hustle. I remember those days. This is good. It's good, like, if a girl's a student, something like that, you always kind of want to frame things like, yeah, I've been there, done that. Like, I'm the authority. I'm older than you. If any of you are genuinely older than girls, you want to use that to your advantage to set, like, an authority kind of frame in your conversations. Then it's like heading to Nebula with some friends. This place looks like a spaceship. Again, just letting her know. She asked what I'm up to. I'm just telling her what I'm up to. But I'm explaining it like in a more interesting way. She's like, what are you up to? I could have just said like, off to the club with some friends. That's kind of fucking boring. But instead, I say the club that I'm going to, which is like one of the higher end clubs, implying, I got some friends I'm going with. And then I just add in like, this place looks like a spaceship, which of course, like, she's an architect. So it's like, she might bite on that. She might find it a little bit more interesting. So then she's like, yeah, I can't wait till they're over, lol. Never heard of it. I Googled it. The lights look really cool. That's a decent amount of investment, actually. The fact that she's fucking, like, Googling the shit I'm saying. That's interesting. But then I'm like, they were. How did you go with the stairs? Managed to sleep? Pretty typical. Reviewing them right now. When you ask girls questions about things they really fucking care about, you're more likely to get a lot of investment from them. So I could tell she was very passionate about whatever she was doing at uni, right? A lot of girls at uni aren't that passionate about what they're doing, so it wouldn't be a good thing to ask about, but I could just tell this girl was really in love with what she was doing. So if I asked about how her project went, I knew she would invest quite a bit. So she's like, reviewing them right now, not a lot of change so far. And yes, I went to bed around 3, not too bad. How's your day so far? And then I'm like, looks good. I'm just at the Met. It's beautiful. Then I send a pic. And then she's like, oh my God, yes, I love the Met, especially this day part, all the Greek. Then I'm like, it's so good when you finish class. Just got out. Cool. How far are you from Times Square? So I'd already set up the date by this point. But then she's like, just got home, so I'm right around from the tunnel, usually. Cool. I got dinner at 9. Would 11 work for you? Or we can meet now if you're ready. I think we vaguely agreed to like a day, but we didn't agree to a time, So I'm kind of springing this on her last minute, She's like, 11 is kind of late for me. I could have met up with her earlier for drinks or something like that. It was already getting kind of late. But yeah, I had a dinner at like 9 with some promoters from a club and like a whole group of people, including girls as well. So I kind of didn't want to give that up. So I was tossing between whether I should cancel on her and whether I should go to that thing. But then I was kind of like, why not do both? Why not try both? 11 is kind of late for me. I'm ready now, but I'll probably be in the city by 7:45, 8. So, yeah. And then I'm just like, that's okay. Let's make it at 8 and take it from there. Maybe you can come or I'll cancel. We'll see. Cool. So then she agrees to that. I go for both. And then I'm like, cool, let's meet at this place. And yeah, and then we meet there. Date went well. Yeah, like we met at a bar, like hit it off well. And then from there I was like, fuck it, come to the dinner, And then we went to the dinner and that was all right. And then, I don't know, probably like 30 minutes into that, I just decided like, fuck this. Let's just like, fuck the club. Let's just go back. So I didn't end up going to the club, but it was good. But yeah, so that's the conversation. I guess main takeaways from that for you guys is, things like baiting, as always. Things like building commonality with her, trying to be a part of her world. The observational openers, I think this is a good example of that. You can try out that format with anything, just 3 statements about her, and then just finish it off with something like, you wild girl, or like some sort of fucking, thing like that. But yeah, cool. So if you found this valuable and you want to learn yourself how to really master online dating, how to be able to set up dates like all the fucking time, every night, every second night, whatever, run it like a system, just have dates all the time, whenever you want, without having to leave your house, without having to go to clubs, without any of that shit, well then hit me up or send me an email and yeah, we can have a chat about the program. But yeah, other than that, I hope you found this valuable. Have a good day.